Little Mouse, I love you. Story by Dugald. Pictures by Caroline Anstey. Once upon a time, there was a little mouse who was always asking questions. Luckily, she had a Gran who was always answering them, and between them they made quite a pair. Gran, asked Little Mouse one day, what is love? Love? Laughed Gran. Oh, that's easy, Little Mouse. Come for a walk and you'll soon see. Gran and Little Mouse set off through the garden where Grandpa was digging his vegetable patch. Shh, hushed Grandpa, and pointed to where a mother wren was teaching her chicks how to fly. Just like the way you and Gran show me how to do things, whispered Little Mouse. Beyond the garden gate lay the wood, and it wasn't long before Little Mouse spotted a mother squirrel digging up some of the acorns she had hidden in the autumn and sharing them among her children. Just like the way you share the food you have cooked with me, exclaimed Little Mouse. Passing through the wood, they reached the meadow. Little Mouse liked it there, because she could watch all the rabbits scampering about outside their burrows. But today one little rabbit had cut his paw on a sharp stone, and Mother Rabbit was lying beside him to keep him company while he got better. Just like the way you sit by my bed with me if I'm feeling poorly, cried Little Mouse. There was a field near the meadow, and Little Mouse caught sight of a lamb who was running up and down, looking very frightened of a sheepdog. But just then a mother sheep strode out of the flock and went over to the lamb, who looked much happier as he nuzzled up to her. You see, smiled Gran, that mother sheep was just telling the lamb not to worry about the sheepdog. He's there to look after them. Just like the way you tell me not to worry when I feel frightened, said Little Mouse. When they had passed by the field, Gran and Little Mouse came to a duck pond where there was a lot of quacking and splashing as a brood of baby ducklings scrambled after their mother. Those ducklings will grow up one day, won't they? Said Little Mouse. Do you think their mommy will forget them when she has new ones to look after? No, said Gran, she will never forget a single one. Just like the way you will never forget me, said Little Mouse. By now it was beginning to get dark, and as Gran and Little Mouse turned to go home, they passed a barn. They could hear hooting coming from inside, so Little Mouse peeped around the door to see a mother owl giving her little ones a tender peck before she set out for the night. Just like the way you give me a bedtime kiss, whispered Little Mouse. Yes, agreed Gran, although for the owls it's a good morning one, and they both laughed. Now that the evening had come, Gran and Little Mouse walked home quickly, and they soon saw Grandpa waving at the gate. Gran, said Little Mouse, all of those things I saw today, sort of added together, do they make up love? You know, said Gran, I really think they do. That night Little Mouse stood at the window with Gran, thinking about all the things she had seen. That was a lovely day, whispered Little Mouse. I do love you, Gran, and Grandpa too. And I love you, Little Mouse, said Gran. And with that, Little Mouse gave Gran a good night kiss and tiptoed off to bed.